How's it going, guys? And welcome back to Retrospect, your go-to retro gaming podcast. You're listening to episode 49. Today, we'll be talking about what it was like growing up with Nintendo in the 90s, because last week we did this with Sega. And joining me in the mics, as always, we have the savior of niche sites, Brandon Saltalamacchio.
Oh man, that's a good one. I've been getting in a lot of beef on Twitter recently of all these AI folk.
I know, man.
Boils my blood.
I like how you just call people out like directly sometimes. You're like, don't do this. And you like retweet the person. You're like, don't. Do you ever get responses from those people?
I need to watch out because some people have threatened me before because some of these guys are like well-known hackers and they're just like, I will take down your site. Shut up or I'll take. And I'm like, oh, okay. Bye now.
I'm sorry. But please also stop being a jerk and just be a normal person that doesn't use robots. Yeah, dude. Oh man, people that can take down sites, anyone that like holds things hostage, what's wrong with you? Why are you doing that to somebody else? We had like a string of US what is it called when they take your entire like system hostage? There's a name.
I know what you mean.
There's a name for that type of hacking. But anyways, that happened like three or four times like in a year. And I was like, dude, people suck. Like people, and it was like there's like the lamest things. It was like a beef manufacturing plant. I'm like, why? Why?
Leave them alone.
Stop. It's like people just want hamburgers. People just want hamburgers. Don't. Why are you doing this to these people?
Yeah.
Hit the big dogs. Hit the guys that you know are doing bad things. Come on. Well, anyways, we're not talking about beef cyber attacks. All right, we're talking about Nintendo. But before we start the main show, I found this. Okay, so my Brandon, you're a camera guy, right?
Mm-hmm. Kinda, yeah.
Are you a film guy? Have you ever messed around with film before?
Oh no, I haven't, but I want to.
So I have two film cameras. But my dad, we have a cottage in Canada for those, and they brought back this film camera for me because I know I'm messing around with film cameras, and this is a Chinon brand camera. I forget what year it was made, but Chinon, yeah, CM4, made in Japan. It's a lower end film camera, but it's honestly, the whole bag smells like Canada. It smells like a mildewy, like mothball, situation camera. So it's kind of gross. But I'm working with this thing, trying to fix it back up. But it came with, I don't know if you've ever seen these before. It came with these like viewfinders. Do you see this?
Oh.
Like it has all these little like...
Oh, like little attachments, eh?
These little slides, but I don't know how it attaches. Like this looks like this might need to go on something else. Like you like slide it on, but it has like a little like magnifier in these little pieces. And I'm like, what the shit is this? So I'm gonna need your audience or our audience to maybe help decipher what these little things are for, because I was messing around with them and I could not figure it out. I was like, what?
Odd. For those listening, they look like little SD cards that you slot onto the front viewfinder, and they're like plastic transparent things.
Yeah. And they say like tele and wide, so they go with a lens. But no idea where you mount that.
Maybe because the viewfinder is separate to the lens. So if you're using a certain like wide angle lens, you can put the wide angle attachment on the viewfinder.
I was thinking it'd be something like this, where it kind of sits like on the viewfinder in the back or whatever.
Doesn't even look natural on the back.
But it doesn't even go there. So I'm like, what the? Maybe it's not even for this camera, but it is. But it is, because I have a tele, and this one that's actually sitting on here. So I don't know. Anyways, cool camera. No idea what that is, and it smells like mothballs. So exciting stuff.
Mothballs and maple syrup.
I'm gonna tell him you said that, dude. I'm gonna tell him you said that. We actually have. Have you ever had Viva Puffs?
Viva Puffs, no.
It's a graham cracker, jelly, marshmallow, all encased in chocolate, all dipped in chocolate.
Damn.
That's also a Canadian treat, and they are tasty. We have some of those at our house right now too. So, yeah. That is the exact noise I made when my parents brought them in the house. I was like,
You know what's funny? I
Give
just
me
thought of
that.
it then. The more episodes we do together, the more we get
The
comfortable, and
weirder we are.
the more we just become like immature children.
This is
Oh, okay, it's great.
yeah, we're almost at like 20 episodes now. Like this is like 4 months of doing this, 3 or 4 months. So we're we're in it, baby. We're
Yeah,
doing
we're
it.
buddies now.
All right. Well, let's talk about Nintendo. So, real quick housekeeping. We are still planning for episode 50. We have some stuff in the works. So, be excited about that. If you haven't already subscribed, we'd really appreciate it to know when the big episode goes live. And then this is sponsored by Handheld History. You guys are still getting purchases in, I'm assuming, right, Brandon? Any news on that front?
Yeah, we're building now. We're putting it all together. So that will be ready to ship October, November, I think. So it's just
Heck
the
yeah.
building process takes forever. And for all of those that are patiently waiting, I appreciate it. Things like this takes forever. And like this like year has been a pain for just everything, including materials, like
Oh
postage,
yeah.
getting stuff. Like even glue has gone up. You don't even like think about this stuff. So for all of
hmm
those waiting patiently, thank you, and I can't wait to get this in your hands. You will love it, and it's thick as well. It is thick. Yeah,
thick boy book. Please, like, put that on like the sleeve or something like that. Like, damn, she thick.
she thick.
Have you seen Have you seen that video of that dog that's like rolling around in the grass? And there's the guy's like, "Damn boy, damn,
Damn, boy.
that's a thick ass boy."
Oh man.
It's a good video. It looks like a bear, but it's just a black lab just rolling in the grass. I'll send it to you after this. You're
Please
gonna
do.
love it. All right. So growing up in the '90s with Nintendo, let's talk about this. So yeah, we did this with Brandon last week. Talked about the Genesis slash Mega Drive in the '90s and his experience, having that as a kid. And so
Mm-hmm.
we thought, why not talk about Nintendo this time around? And since he didn't really have a Nintendo in the early '90s, I will be the one sort of providing my experience with mostly the N64, but also, I mean, we had a Super Nintendo at that time,
Mm-hmm.
and kind of what that was like growing up in the suburbs of Memphis, Tennessee, with a
Tennessee.
with an N64. So yeah.
Oh, this is gonna be interesting because we also had a conversation. So Seb wrote the best platform games article, and it popped off in a WhatsApp because we all disagreed and agreed. And then we kind of had a division of group chats of like people loving Mario and people loving Sonic. So I think this is good to be like, hey, typically I'm a Sega fan, and you're typically or been growing up as a
hmm
Nintendo fan. So I've got some questions for you. I'm gonna take
Okay.
this. I'm gonna take the sale on this one.
Please
I
do.
guess I guess the first question is: did you always want to be a Nintendo kid, or was it kind of like chucked on your lap, so to speak?
Yeah, so I asked my brother this last night. I was like, "Dude, how did you come upon the Super Nintendo?" Because our parents did not let us. They never bought us a
Your brother's
console.
older, right?
Yeah, my older brother.
Hmm.
We never were allowed to like. They didn't buy us consoles. So if we wanted one, we had to come upon it by ourselves, like by saving up cash and
Hmm.
going in on something. And so I don't even remember how we came upon the Super Nintendo. He's like, "Yeah, I don't know. I just saved and I bought one." And I was like, "Well, who'd you buy it from?" He's like, some like one of the kids in the neighborhood, I think." And I was like, "How do you not remember this?" I was like, "How is this not like a core memory of you getting your first console?" He's like, "I don't know."
And even then, like that kid sold his console. Like, did he have his parents' permission, or was he just
Probably
like, you know
not.
what? I want that $20. I'm gonna take the cables out of this, and here you go, boy.
I would go buy some candy. I mean, truly, we sold candy as kids in the apartment complex. Like we lived in apartments for a long time, and we would make our own candy and resell it on the bus. So
So you
like
were hustling from a
we
young
were
age.
hustling to like make money to buy games. So do you
Nice.
know like what airheads are? Like the stretchy, like taffy, like candy. They look like a
No, no.
tongue, like a colorful tongue. We would get those, and then you put nerds, like the candy nerds, inside of this rubber taffy stuff, and roll it into a ball with our hands and resell them to kids.
So you're making like a candy bomb from tasting
Exactly,
candies and then selling it for a considerable amount.
a bath bomb for your mouth. Yeah,
Oh my, you've done this before, man.
and it was, I mean, it's gross. Like we weren't using like sanitary procedures. We were just literally wrapping these things with our bare hands
Get
and
a bit of that in there.
and serving kids these nasty candies. So, anyways, we came upon the Super Nintendo, played that, but like in my sphere, Nintendo was not the cool. like the cool console to have. Like I remember a lot of the kids
Oh.
in my block were already talking about like PlayStation 2.
Mhm.
But for
Mhm.
me personally, when I saw like Mario and I watched my brother play like Mega Man and all these games, I was like, I'm in. I like what I'm seeing. Like this is what I want to do.
And what year were you born?
91, baby.
91. So yeah. Late 90s. You were old enough to remember, to learn, to adapt, to hustle other kids.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
right at the end of the 90s, I was old enough to kind of wheel and deal and trade Pokemon cards and get the games that I needed.
so your friends were looking at the PlayStation 1? So they didn't have any consoles before, did they? Or they were just waiting for that PS1 for Christmas or something?
Yeah, it like from my earliest memories, like my friends had the PS1. Like they like my friend Jeffrey, he had the PlayStation 1 and the Genesis. That's what we talked about that guy. And then
Yeah, Jeffrey.
Carter had the 64. He had the N64. Now, he was the house that I would want to sleep over at the most, and he was the one where the parents were the most strict about sleepovers, and they didn't let it happen very often. So they were like, it was a big deal if you
Mhm.
could sleep over at Carter's house because his parents like never let you do it. But he had all the best stuff. He had go karts. He had like a really cool like playground in his backyard, and he had the N64. So I was like, we got to go to Carter's house.
How many nuggets did he have?
He probably had like 3 or 4 nuggets, dude. Like that kid had money
Oh,
for sure.
oh, man. So me and Jake were talking about these nugget things, which are like
They're
cushions that you can
awesome.
like build forts with kids, and we
Hmm.
don't have them really here in the UK. But apparently, how many nuggets do you have is a thing that dads say these days in America.
And they're not cheap. They're not cheap. They're I think each of like nugget is like $250, $300.
Damn,
So you're
almost the
dropping
same as a gold nugget, man.
yeah, you're dropping a G on these just standard kid couches. Like don't do that. Don't do that. If you want two, you have 2 kids maybe, but like other than that, you don't need more nuggets. Because after they're grown up, you're just tossing those things out. You're not using those anymore. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Come on. Come on.
Bloody. So you said you're around Carter's a lot. I guess the N64 brought you together because of possibly the multiplayer games. What were you guys playing back in the day?
Yeah, so I brought some just like you. This won't be as satisfying as your ASMR stuff with the cases because I don't have the cases for all these.
Yeah.
And we didn't have actually these games didn't have cases. They just came in cardboard boxes. But yeah, I have my little stack here
Oh
of
yeah.
so these are my faves. I got Mario Kart here. You can kind of hear that.
That looks good. Good condition, that one. Oh
Oh,
yeah.
oh
Ooh.
wow. So oh. So yeah, Mario Kart 64, a classic. We
Hmm.
had of course the big guy, Super Mario 64. I don't know if you can see
So do
that.
these typically come in bundles?
So yeah, the 64 would ship with Mario 64. I think there may have been a Mario Kart bundle. There was a Pokemon bundle. I mean, there was all kinds of bundles they would sell. Donkey Kong 64 came with the green 64. And that was
Oh
another
yeah.
thing too. The colors of the system. Okay, the first one I got, my first 64 was just the grayish black one. That one looked great. And I bought it from Chase. We talked about that on the last episode.
Hmm.
But I bought another one in college because I sold my 64 sadly, and I got a green one for the Donkey Kong version. And I had no idea it was for the Donkey Kong one until I like looked it up, and I was like, oh, that's cool. Like that these all had different variations because of the colors.
Yeah.
We need to bring that back. We need more of those.
And I think this is why like Sony kind of screwed up on with the PlayStation 1. And even now, Sony doesn't do much with their consoles or even their controllers like Xbox does.
Yeah.
And I think Nintendo saw success in making all of these variants. So you look at the Game Boy Color, there was tons. The Game Boy Pocket, Game Boy Advance, loads, and the same with the
Yep.
N64.
They kind of stopped that though. Like the GameCube had a few colors which I liked, black, silver, purple, and then a few other rare ones. But then they had like they kind of stopped after the Wii. Like the Wii was just white or black. Like that was
Hmm.
it. They got the special edition one that was like red down the
Hmm.
road for like Mario, but that was kind of it. And then the Wii U was just same thing. I think black and white, maybe just black. And then yeah, Switch gray or
Oh, the Switch is so bad, like so bad in terms of special variants. They're just
you got
so
your Joy Cons.
boring. Yeah.
You got your Joy Cons, but that's about it. Yeah,
Look at this
I have.
back panel. Like, no, go back to like changing like the
Give me the
bezel and stuff.
transparency. Give me the
Yeah,
transparency. I want to
exactly.
see through these bad boys. Um, Another one, Pokemon Stadium.
Oh, yeah, nice.
Great game, great game. Mario Party 3 or Mario Party, any of these were really good on the
Mhm.
on the system because they're
Are
like
these
just it.
your cartridges from when you were a kid? You've kept Whoa,
Well,
impressive.
wait, well, no. So I built up a collection.
Okay.
We'll get to that later. But yeah, in college, I rebuilt my collection of games that I did have as a kid, and so yeah, Smash Bros is the last one that is that one's near and dear to my heart. That one is real nice. But yeah, all of
Mm,
these are actually in good shape. This last one kind of sucks. It has like tape and crap all over the back of it, but the
mhm.
other ones look really good. There's a little bit of a graying or browning. I don't know if you can see the color difference on the bottom of that one.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like lighter gray and darker gray in the back.
Mhm.
I don't know who owned this before, but maybe they were smoking cigs, smoking
What
some.
were you gonna say? Oh, that's Canadian.
Yeah, I smell maple syrup. What is that?
Oh god. No Zelda in there.
Well, I was looking for. I couldn't find my copy of Zelda.
Alright.
I think I have it somewhere else. I have it maybe in the 64, or it's just separate because it's so special. But yeah, Zelda 2. I mean, all the classics, all the best games, and Wave Race is another one that I freaking loved. The jet
Mhm,
ski game,
mhm.
Wave
Classic.
Race. Um, because yeah, I mean, like I don't know. But when I think about the 64, what I think that I like the most is like just the way that those games opened up worlds. It was everything was 3D.
Mhm.
Everything was 3D for the first time. And so even games where you weren't supposed to explore, like Mario Kart, let's say, for example, I have this in the outline, but like Peach's Castle is in one of the levels, and you're not supposed to go over there in the race. But if you want to, if you're not like racing against somebody, you can just drive over there and you can just go check the castle out and like
Yo,
drive around
Peach!
it. Yeah. The entire time Lakitu's like chasing you, like, what are you doing? You're losing the race. Go back to the race. Like that's what happens in that game. But it blew my mind. Like I was like, I can go over here and just see what's going on.
Mm,
And it was all about that discovery, like if I go over here, what will happen? If I do this, will I be rewarded for it? And oftentimes in Nintendo games, you are. Like Mario 64 is another example of that, where they would tuck like one up mushrooms like in the very far corner, like back behind this thing. And it's like if you walked over there, they're like, hey, good job. You found it. You did it. And as a
mhm.
kid, I was like, I'm a genius. I
Yeah.
I'm amazing. So I don't know. Like that's like what
And
really
I
like.
think that kind of stuff opens it up to like word of mouth marketing. Like you'll just run to school and be like, "Hey man, I drove over to Peach's house. You could do that. Come around mine tomorrow and show me." And because the multiplayer, like console, the N64 multiplayer side of things was so great, you just plug in another controller and dang.
And that's another thing too. Like we can talk about this. I got the Switch wireless N64 controller.
Ooh, nice.
And this thing, I mean, props to Nintendo for making this bad boy. Listen to this. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, oh yeah.
Oh.
Um, this is this is not a good controller. I'm just gonna say this thing is trash. But what I think it did do well is give people the first way to use an analog joystick on a controller. Like that was pretty amazing. And then these C buttons to actually control your second camera. They were labeled the C buttons to literally be like this is your camera controls. Up, down,
Mhm.
left, right. Um and I think that just I don't know, for whatever reason, like this at sleepovers or at any kind of gathering with friends was such a fun controller to have in your hands because you knew like insanity was about to happen. Now, Mario Kart, you were here. You were locked in the middle, hand on the joystick, and let's talk about this Z trigger too on this
Yeah,
controller.
yeah.
Little little back button right there. I mean, an underused element that we don't really have today still. Like some of the fancy controllers now have that where it's like the wraparound on the
Mhm,
underside.
mhm.
But this feels good. This feels like a trigger on like a gun. So I think that's what they were going for is like if you're playing like a shooting game or like a blasting game,
GoldenEye or
your
something.
yeah, your finger just naturally rests there anyway. So like in terms of holding it like this, it actually feels pretty natural. But then of course games like make you jump over to this and you're like, what am I why do I have three things to
Yeah.
hold? Like what am I doing here?
The Wiimote took inspiration from that, didn't it?
In what way?
So on the back of
Oh, the
your
B button.
Wii Yeah, yeah.
Yes, you're right, they did have it on that. Man,
'Cause you
I'm a
had, like, the
dingus.
nunchuck and they had, like, the analog stick expansion, which I think was replicated from that Nintendo section.
Mhm. Yeah, this joystick, I hate this joystick. I mean,
So, funny thing, right? 8-Bit Do are coming out with a mod kit for the N64 controller, and we're reviewing it, or Rob's reviewing it. You can put in whole joysticks into
mhm.
that and, USB-C charging as well. So, they're gonna be a video on that.
That's awesome. I mean, it needs it. The joysticks were the first thing to go in any controller. So if you were having friends over, what you do is if you wanted to beat them, you just give them your shitty controller. You're like, hey, here you go, dude. Here's the Mad Cats.
Take
Here's
the
the Mad
crusty one.
yeah.
Mad Cats, yeah, yeah.
Here's the
Yeah.
Mad Cats controller. And yeah, the joystick was always just like so loose. You could tell it was like if you did this and the like you tipped it up or down and the
Oh,
joystick just
no.
just just drooped, you're like, oh, that's I'm done.
Yeah, yeah. Game over.
I'm losing this match. But it's still like so many good memories of this. And then like, when you're playing mini games on like Mario Party, the game uses all of these buttons. So like sometimes you have to hold it like open grip, like as Super Nintendo controller, and sometimes you have to hold it like the joystick, like you're fishing or you're
Mhm. Oh, yeah,
flicking
yeah.
this thing. Like there's, I don't know, very versatile. Nintendo likes to make sure they use their hardware when it's their own IP that they're like throwing out there. Other developers are like, let's just use a joystick.
Do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
So, you're saying you like a lot of things there. What don't you like about let's just stick with the N64 for now.
So the library on the 64 is not very big.
Right.
That is a downside. And those games were expensive then and they're still expensive today. So like they're not easy to get a hold of unless you pay for NSO. And there's more coming on there, which is awesome. But like I I have like maybe 10 to 15 games that I'm really fond of, and then everything else I'm like, I don't care. Like I don't
Mhm.
care about anything else on this system because they're not good. Or like I just don't have an interest in that stuff. They had some sports games people were huge into. But other than that, like this is when Nintendo really screwed themselves over by forcing the cartridge mandate on all of their partners. So they were still controlling all of the production and all of the in-house,
Right, right, yeah.
um, in-house control of their games. And people got fed up by having to like license and go through Nintendo to like get their game on there because then at the time, so this came out in 96 and the PS1 came out I think in 95. And people were just fed up. They're like, we're not doing this anymore. We have other options now, like we have the Genesis, we have other places
Mhm.
we can put our games and we don't have to pay as much to do that, so see you later. So I think as a
That's
result,
interesting. I didn't know too much about that. That would be a
yeah,
good feature in itself.
it is. It's a good story and it's really interesting. I don't know if you've ever read Console Wars, but they go into that a little bit, and then yeah, I forget where else I kind of read about that. But that's how Nintendo really shot themselves in the foot in the late '90s into the GameCube. They were still using that proprietary software or
Mhm.
hardware to like force people onto stuff, and then like making your game and then putting it on a disc was so much easier and cheaper. But Nintendo's like, nah, you gotta you gotta put it on this thing. You're gonna come over here and you're gonna put it in this little weird proprietary chip that we have.
Were
And they're
they
like,
were they the same with their accessories? Could third party just create random accessories for the N64, or did they have control of that?
yeah, I don't know. It felt like there was a lot of junk. So in terms of accessories, there was a lot of stuff for the 64. I don't maybe as much as like the Genesis though. When you and I were talking, I was like, there wasn't that much. But the coolest thing, and this one doesn't, this controller unfortunately does not have it, but the back had this slot that was flexible or like universal for a lot
Mhm.
of their accessories. So you could put in a rumble pack in here, which would give you like vibration feedback, which was also the first time anyone had ever seen that. And that was like a game changer. So if you were playing, games like Super Smash Bros. And you get hit, the whole controller would rumble. And that was like
Mm.
revolutionary. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm feeling the game. Um
'Cause the PlayStation doesn't
th-
do that, does it?
I mean,
I think.
not the first one. Yeah, not the first one. They were all kind of static. But then that kind of became the standard after that as well. So people are like, oh yeah, we should do that too. So yeah, rumble packs or vibration, that was like a cool thing. The expansion pack, I don't know if you ever looked into this either, but you couldn't play certain games if you didn't have this specific accessory.
Oh,
And
no.
Nintendo they at least did you a solid. They gave you a expansion pack if you bought like Donkey Kong 64 because it literally needed it or else
Mhm.
it wouldn't run. So like imagine buying a game like you're a parent, you're like, all right, Jeffrey, I went ahead and bought you the new Star Fox game or whatever. And your kid tries to put it in. It's like, I can't play it. It doesn't work. I need the expansion pack. And then you have to go back to the store. You got to buy the expansion pack. And it's like, son
No.
of a Nintendo. So that was kind of cool, but also not cool because it's like, why wasn't that just in the first place? Why are you doing this to us? Um, I also liked the Game Boy cartridge reader. It has an actual name. I forget what it's called, but this is on your website, I think, on retrododo.com. Check it out. Best Nintendo 64
Nice.
accessories. But yeah, you could put your Game Boy DMG or just Game Boy Color games in this thing that attached to your controller, and you could play them on the screen if you wanted to, or you could bring in your Pokemon from other games to play in Pokemon Stadium and stuff like that. So there was a lot of like really cool cross functionality from that
Mhm.
thing. And then we kind of mentioned this, but yeah, all the different colors of the controllers. You could just get so many controllers that did different things. I think there was like a fishing rod controller if you wanted. It looked like this, just longer, looked terrible. And then all the different janky Mad Cats controllers. Gosh, we had like 3 or 4 of those at our house because they kept on breaking, but they were so cheap. And like you knew immediately it was an off-brand controller because like the middle thing, this piece where the joystick is
Yeah.
so long. It like comes down to here, and the side handles are really short. Like the side handles are like little
Oh.
nubbies. And so you're like, what the shit am I holding right now? Like who made this? Like you knew
Oh, Mad
immediately it was
Cats were
off brand.
killing it back then, weren't they?
They were
They
they
had
were
like a 10-year period where they were just absolutely killing it
and also
with
killing
trash.
themselves with
Yeah.
garbage. Yeah, because like they worked
Oh
for a little
man.
bit, and you're like, this thing sucks. Like this does not feel good at all. Like there is something to be said for the original hardware. It at least feels good. It feels quality.
Do you still have your N64 now? Obviously you've still got a few games.
Sadly, no. So yeah, we talked about that.
Sold it for sweets.
I wish. I wish. Well, actually, no. Sweets would have been depressing because that is a short lasting benefit. So I think I mentioned on your podcast that I thought I sold it for an Xbox, but I lied to you. Forgive me
Oh.
for lying. I sold it for a GameCube. I went up to the next generation. That's what I did. Because I remember because the GameCube came out in 2001, and I got that right when it came out. So we
So
literally we
you
had
didn't have a PlayStation?
mm-mm,
Oh.
not the original PlayStation. We had a PS2, but not the original PlayStation. I got all that from my boy Jeffrey.
Jeffrey, we need to get him on,
Jeff.
man. You need to find
Oh,
him and get him
hey,
on.
I still have his number. I still, I talked to him not too long ago. I can hit him up, see if he wants to talk about his PlayStation 1. Yeah, and not as bad as Corey or your buddy Corey, who you never talked to, just used his console.
He's long gone, man. He probably remembers me as the guy that used him for games. He won't want to pick up that phone call. That's for
He
sure.
changed his name. He changed his name so you can't find him.
Yeah, it's now
Leave me
Cody.
alone. Leave me. Yeah, Cody. That's way worse. Don't do that. Don't do that. Cody and Corey. But yeah, I traded in for a GameCube. I remember taking it into GameStop or EB Games, whatever it was at the time, and like just feeling so weak and small. Whenever you're trading in something as a kid, you just feel like
Hmm.
powerless. You're just like giving up your your last meal's supper to like the lords of the town. You're like, here's my N64, sir. I'd like
And
to buy
the
a
game stores never
GameCube.
give you anything. They're like, "Oh, you
No.
bought this for $200. We'll give you $13.60.
Yeah.
Pick what you want, buddy."
But as a kid, that was like my only way of like getting money,
Yeah.
like actually making money. So like I remember going in there with my mom, and embarrassing. My mom's there, and I'm like, okay, mom, just stay over there. I'm gonna go try to sell this. So I go in, I'm like, here, sir, here's my N64 and all of my games and all my childhood memories. And I think I got like maybe like $100 for
Mm,
it, which
mm.
wasn't bad. But then the GameCube, I think, was like 200 or 250, maybe 150. I know I was short. I was short money. Yeah, so I didn't even.
Mom.
Yeah, exactly. So then I was like, okay, so mom, I only need $50 more or like whatever it was. And she's like, Jacob, you said this would be enough to buy your GameCube. And I was like, well, I thought so too, but I didn't get as much for the controllers because they're a little bit broken or something. And she's like, all right, fine, but you're gonna have to pay me back in chores. So anyways, I was able to get one, but it felt so bad. It just it
Yeah.
truly felt like I was just giving away my firstborn son. I was like, goodbye. This is and all I had was like melee, which was great for the
I
GameCube.
feel like you did it the right way though. You know, you upgraded. You
I
took the
did.
hit but upgraded. I know a lot of kids that would just, go and buy probably sweets.
Yeah, dude. And that GameCube got some great use.
Idiots.
I love yeah, stupid. You're so dumb, dude. As a kid, I'm so much more financially smart than you.
Yeah. Thanks, mom.
Thanks, mommy. Yeah. I
Oh man.
yeah, I definitely I got some use out of that GameCube. But yeah, growing up in the 90s, man, with the N64, it was a good time, dude. There was a lot of memories to be had, a lot of sleepovers, a lot of fun times. But that's it.
Nostalgia, man. It's a powerful emotion. And the gaming industry was always making like actual decent upgrades that made you want to sell your beloved N64, where now you're like, I can wait 3 years before I
Yeah.
need to get a PlayStation 5. Do you know what I mean?
Truly, I thought about telling people like I got a PS5 early. And there was I mean, they didn't get those consoles out for like a year, it felt like. And so people were like, "Oh, how is it?" Like, "Oh, like wondering to know if they should try to like fight the scalpers and get one." And I was like, honestly, I was like, "There's not much coming out right now that feels
No.
revolutionary on here." I was like, "You can wait, just freaking wait." Like, they're still like fixing a lot of stuff. Like, all the games are still coming to PS4. Like, you're fine. But that wasn't the case. Like when the next console came out in like the earlier generations, it's like we're done with
Sell
that one.
everything.
Yeah, this is it. This is the future. And I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, the jump from 64 to GameCube was insane in terms of graphical power. I was like, oh, this looks way better.
hmm
So
Controller was better as well.
yeah.
Just.
Oh, that Wavebird.
Yeah.
Such a good controller, dude. Such a good controller.
All right. So let's round off as we always do. What are you playing? I'll start with this one. And as I mentioned in the last podcast, I got a Nintendo DSi now. So I bought a couple of games,
Ooh.
one of them being Pokemon Soul
What'd
Silver.
you
And
what'd you
this
sell to get that DS? What'd you
it
have
was
to sell?
actually my mother-in-law that gave me that. She's like, I found this. So I basically sold my soul.
I'll take it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Well,
this Game Boy.
better look after Kate or I'll take it back. You know I will. I'll take back my brain training
No.
games.
I'm sure that's what she had. Is that did actually
Oh
that was
yeah,
she?
yeah, tons of brain training games, Tetris DS, and then
Yeah,
I went out and bought Pokemon Soul Silver. Like I remember playing it, but never remember the graphics being that good. Like I
dude,
go into like some game like Pokemon Soul Silver, and I'm like, wow, this is crispy.
this looks good. Well,
Yeah,
on the DSi, that was like the fancier one that had a bit more processing power, right?
yeah, and you had the Game Boy Advance cartridge as well, which is still in it. It was just more sleek. I got the black one somewhere,
Oh, that's
it's
nice, dude.
just sleek.
Yeah, you showed it on the podcast, I think, with Anthony. That is a nice gift. I wish my
hmm
mother-in-law had a DS that she would just randomly gift me. Not gonna happen. Not
Not
gonna happen.
happening.
I'll get like a
What are you
yoga mat
playing?
from her. Um, I am playing officially again Zelda Tears of the Kingdom.
Have
I
you
am
finished
trying to
it
finish
yet?
it. I'm working on it, okay, man. I'm working on it. I'm so close. Every time I play that game, I'm like, I'm this is it. I'm here. And I do think that I am there. Okay. We're heading towards the final battle now. All right. Like I just made it back to Lookout Landing and they're like, we're doing this. And I'm like, all right, sick. And
Episode
so
episode 59 is my bet. When you
shut
say,
up.
guys, I finished it.
Here's my okay. Hear me now, podcast listeners and Brandon. I'm gonna freaking beat this game before episode 50 so I can talk about it. Okay?
Before episode 50. You got 7 days.
That's easy, bro. I'm just gonna ignore my responsibilities. I'm not gonna talk to Hannah or my kid, and I'm gonna play Zelda. Okay? Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Oh god.
But yeah, dude, it's been great. That game's so freaking good. Like Hannah's watching this really crappy rom com. It's called like something Magnolias, or I don't even. It's horrible. So I just put on my headphones and freaking rip, and it's it's great. It's freaking great.
Nice.
So, do you have with Soul Silver? Do you have the little walk-in Pokeball thingy?
No,
Oh,
dude, they're
dude,
like £30 a pop. There might even be more. They're quite rare these days because kids used to probably throw them like real Pokeballs back in the day. Like throw
I
them like loogies.
don't, don't do it. Don't do it. Now, that would actually hurt somebody if you threw it out the window
Yeah.
of your car. That would actually be bad news. You would probably go to jail. So I remember when Soul Silver and Heart Gold came out. I was in high school, and all of my friends on track and cross country, we all played pretty much, and so we would be at track meets, and we'd have our little Pokeballs like on our hip, and we'd be like running
Oh my god.
running on the track
Yeah.
with our Pokeballs on our hips. Yeah. Look at all those Houston guys. But like the funny thing is we were really good.
Right.
We were like up there with in our state in terms of place. We would always like get second or first in terms of races.
Nice.
So yeah, a bunch of dorks wearing Pokeballs racing around the track. Good times
Yeah,
though,
well,
man.
I didn't really have a DS. I think I was just like repping the consoles back then. I think my last Game Boy was the SP. I had an original DS, but that didn't last long.
The DS was it was kind of like a lovely but also depressing time, if that makes
What
sense.
sense? Like games
Like
are just expensive.
I don't know. When you were playing something on the DS, you never felt quite right. You never felt like you were getting the best experience out there. You're like,
Yeah, you're
if
there
it
with
was
your little
if
pen, like, oh,
yeah
let's just grab this and do my
yeah
brain training. My mom said I got to do 20 minutes of brain training a day.
yeah. Let me
Make sure
let me
you
s-
put your
let me send a note to my friend Jeffrey over here on my DS. You could write little
yeah,
notes and
yeah.
like send them to people.
Don't forget your Pokeball in running class. Oh my
Like
god.
yeah, nothing really was like everything felt half baked on that system. It was like really cool, but like everything felt like Metroid Prime Hunters. I don't know if you played that game or the Metroid Prime game. That just like the worst control scheme ever invented because you're using the stylus to aim while you're holding the DS. Your hands doing this weird shit where you're
Oh
like,
man.
I'm having fun, and it wasn't good. It wasn't good. And then like they had a Guitar Hero on there, but it was not five
Oh,
buttons,
with the
four
expansion.
buttons. I had that, and you would just strum your DS like, just
Guys, look how cool I am! I swear, I swear.
I'm rocking out. I'm playing Black Magic Woman, Black Magic Woman, and you're just like in your room by yourself on your DS. Like
Yeah.
your mom comes in, you're like, I'm
Yeah.
just playing Guitar Hero.
I swear I'm playing Guitar Hero, not Neopets or whatever it's DS Pets. Nintendogs, that's
Yeah,
the one.
Nintendogs. Oh,
Yeah.
yuck. That was
I'm
also
totally not petting my dog. It's something cool, I swear.
I want to bring my DS over. You guys want to play Nintendogs?
Yeah. Oh
So,
man.
anyways, good times, but not the best times. But yeah, unfortunately, all that is all the time we have this week. Listeners, did you grow up with Nintendo? Let us know by writing into retrospect at retrododo.com or commenting on your preferred listening channels. And also, yeah, if you have any memories, just like generic gaming memories, we're looking for some of those. Start dropping some of those off. We'll have some for next week that we're going to be sharing. But please give us some of those because we love sharing that stuff. It's pretty fun.
Mm-hmm.
Brandon, anything you want to plug before we go?
No, I think we're all good. I am working on like I said this in the last episode, a retro Dodo premium section for the website, but that won't be for another few months. I'm trying to work out some deals, and make it
Deals.
valuable.
We getting some coupons? Some you can give us some coupons to the local Papa and Mama and Papa store?
Yeah, you never know.
Get you a discount on a stroller. Brought to you by Retro Dodo. That would be awesome, actually. That'd be great. I'd be all in. Well, I have nothing to plug, so until then, we'll catch you in the next episode.
I remember when I was a kid and I hacked a loogie out of my car window and I didn't know, but I walked into the store and 15 minutes later, a lady was like, "What's that in your hair?" And there's just this whole loogie in my hair for 15 minutes, man. Just fucking. It wasn't even like yellow. It was like green with a bit of blood.
That's so gross. Yeah, dude, spitting out the car window is always a risk because there's like a 15 to 20% chance it's going to hit you somehow.
Oh
I
man, it was huge as well, man. It was like the size of a golf ball.
and this is when you weren't experienced in, like,
Yeah.
ejecting it from your body yet. You were just like just
Yeah, I didn't understand physics, man. I was like, if I spit at that person when I go 50 miles per hour, that means my spit will be 100 miles per hour and it will go through his brain.
I
It
mean,
went.
yeah, I mean, if you shot that out of your mouth and it somehow hit the same person at the same time, maybe, not through his brain, but that would be a I wonder if there's, like, a record for that, like, the fastest loogie ever spit.
The most powerful loogie.
Most powerful. That's so nasty. I'm sure that's somewhere out there. God.